Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea, and in this channel we talk all things business, mindset, edtech, online teaching in general, and many things that interest me. So in today's video we are going to be talking about some of the websites that I have found useful when traveling and teaching online. So if you would like to know more about them, then keep on watching. The first website, which I believe is going to be super useful, is Zoom. And as you may know by now, because I have already talked about Zoom in a previous video, which I am going to be linking somewhere here, I believe that it's one of the best video conferencing platforms that you can use if you are teaching online. I don't get paid to say this. I wish I were, but I am not. But yes. Basically, I have been using Zoom for the past 3 years, and it's a video conferencing platform that I simply cannot change. Like, I love it. And I know that during, in 2020 and part of 2021, up until 2022, I think it was April, when they decided to change its policies. So now, even if you want to have a one-to-one lesson with a student, the meeting will end after 40 minutes. So I have had to pay for a premium subscription so as to keep my meetings longer. And again, I took advantage of a 40% discount a few weeks ago, and I thought that was like great because it allows me to not end and start a meeting again, and it also allows me to start opening up group courses with my students, whereas in the past I only did one-to-one lessons. Because I was able to do so for free using the platform. Even if it was an hour-long lesson or a 90-minute long lesson, I was able to do that without paying. But now I have to pay. But regardless of whether you pay or not, I do think that it's it's one of the best, if not the best, video conferencing platforms that you can use. However, if you are not, let's say, if you don't have the money to pay for this for any reason, the other website that I highly recommend is Microsoft Teams and Google Meet. So I have used both of these. So I have used Google Meet because when I was teaching in Italy, which, by the way, if you want to know more about my experience, I'm going to leave a link somewhere here. It was mandatory for us to use Google Classroom and, of course, Google Meet. So we had to teach using that video conferencing platform. But to be honest, I had groups which consisted of more than 15, 20 students. And I seriously do not recommend it if you are going to teach that many students. Probably for one-to-one lessons, it could be good, but if it's more than that, then I don't recommend it. The other one, Microsoft Teams, I used to work for a company which required us to work with Microsoft Teams, and I have used it. I do think that it's a bit better than Google Meet. But again, they have many things which I don't quite like. One of them is, for example, that you cannot see your students' faces when you are teaching, or when you're sharing something on the screen, you cannot see their faces. Every time that you want to share sound, you have to click an option, you have to take a box so that it shares the sound, which on Zoom, you do it just once and then you never have to do it again. And yeah, so there are like these small inconveniences, let's say, that you have to go through. But again, Google Meet is free, and Teams is only free up to 60 minutes. So that's also something to bear in mind. If you're going to pay for a software, I would rather pay for Zoom rather than Teams. Another big question that many teachers have is, okay, now I have my students, everything settled, how do I share the materials that I am supposed to be using with them? Then this is, many teachers use different platforms. So some of the ones that I have used in my business are WhatsApp groups, Gmail, and Google Classroom. Now, many of these these options are, of course, readily available, and you don't even have to pay for them. However, I do believe that they all have its pros and its cons. If it's like a one-to-one student, then I would highly recommend WhatsApp or Gmail. However, one thing to bear in mind is that with WhatsApp, they have your number. So if they want to send you a message, I don't know, at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning, like, it's really, and if that annoys you, then probably WhatsApp is not the best option. This also applies if you have a phone which doesn't have a lot of storage space, because every time that you send something, or every time that they send you something, that's going to take up a lot of your storage space in your phone. So that's something to bear in mind. And this also applies to Gmail, because anytime that you send something and anytime you receive something or you correct something or whatever, that's going to take up a lot of your space as well, of your storage space on Google, and you will have to pay more, and you will have to pay for more storage space. And I believe that right now it's like 2 or 3 euros, or $3 or $4, more or less. It's not that much if you're having like a lot of students. I think that it's actually like worth it. More of not something that you have to spend money on, but something that you are investing for your business. But that's also another option. However, I do believe that could work with students, like one-to-one students, whom you have to send very personalized material, so you have to give more feedback than you would than if you were teaching a group. So then if you are actually teaching a group, I highly recommend Google Classroom, because you can post everything there. And then if you are planning on delivering the same course again, then you just duplicate it, and then you just give access to the new students that are signing up for that course. And of course, there are other websites that you can use to host your online courses, but these are the ones that I recommend if you're just starting out and you don't have like a high volume of students at the moment. Now, if you are looking into signing up international students, then this is something that I highly recommend doing, and that is to set up an account on Appointlet. I have been using Appointlet for the past 2 or 3 years, and it has saved me a lot of time when it comes to convert like the time zones and all of that, and it's super easy to use. But I highly recommend that one, especially because the free plan allows you to create several meetings. So if you have one-to-one lessons and the students are paying you just for a 45 minutes lesson, then you can create a meeting for a 45 minutes lesson. Or if you have students who have like a 90 minutes lesson, they pay you for 90 minutes, then you can create a meeting which allows them to book a 90 minutes lesson with you, or a 60-minute lesson. You get the idea. That's something that I highly recommend, and that's why I use Appointlet and not other like websites such as Calendly and Acuity, I think. Anyways, I'm gonna leave them down below if you want to like look into them, but these are I don't use those websites because the free plan that you have only allows you to create one meeting. So if you have students who are taking classes and you have a 45 minutes lesson with one, or a 60 minutes lesson with another one, or a 90 minutes lesson, then you can just create one meeting. And that doesn't work for me, so I don't use Calendly. But it's also a great website if you are just going to teach students for a fixed time. Now, the next resource that you can use and that I use religiously every single day is Google Calendar. There are many people that don't use Google Calendar, but like in the sense that they don't use it as often, or they just use it for special occasions. But I do think that if you want to become an online English teacher, then having a calendar such as Google Calendar is a must. First of all, because you can connect Zoom and a Appointlet with that Google Calendar, and it allows you to create many calendars in the same Google account. So you can have many calendars, like a personal calendar, like a professional calendar. You can create many of them. I will be recording some tutorials on how to do that. So if you're interested, then please leave a comment down below and tell me what questions you may have about Google Calendar and how to use it to teach online. And yes, so I actually use it a lot, especially because it allows me to know what things I need to do and at what time. And to be honest, I even use it for my personal life, in the sense that if you are not there, like if I told you, oh yeah, we're gonna meet, and if you are not, I have not created an event on my calendar, then we will never meet because it has to be there. So that's also something that I highly recommend, specifically because if you have students who are in different time zones, and if you are traveling a lot, Google Calendar automatically changes the starting time and finishing times so that it matches with your time zone. So when I was living in Italy, I had a student whom I taught at 10 a.m. in Argentina, and I had her at 3 p.m. in Italy. And now, because I am in the UK, on my Google Calendar it says that I have to teach her at 2. So it automatically does all of the time zones conversion, which that's something that I absolutely love. And you can also invite your students, in the sense that you can send out invitations and they can accept or decline those invitations. And yeah, so I truly think that it's one of the best things that you can do, especially if you're working online. And it should be a must if you are teaching online and traveling at the same time, the way that I am doing it. I really hope that you like this video. Let me know if there's something else that you'd like to know. Don't forget to watch these 2 videos right here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!